A change of plans took place this week on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 11 and it's episode 7. As I said, some things took a change of plan. You all know last week, Greg had actually had this whole idea of doing a couples trip. He was really, really excited about it. It was going to be his first time getting away since the illness to really chill and just, you know, just have all his friends around and just chill. Well, things started off and it was just things kept going on with the guys. Todd had to pull out because it was his birthday week and he already had plans. Mike Hill wasn't going to be able to make it in town. Dennis ended up messing up his leg playing basketball with Eva's fiance. So all three of those guys were going to be coming. So what they ended up doing was cancel and made it into a girl trip. I said, oh Lord, here we go. So anyway, with this episode, there wasn't a whole lot that went on, but first things first, Porsha goes down to Dennis's hot dog shop and decides to work. She says she thought she was going to go in there and fake work for about an hour and a half. She ended up doing a whole 8-hour shift. His mother was down there working her ass like a damn slave. And they was teaching her everything that she's working and she's trying to eat the cookies. And they were like, girl, that's a violation. Write her up, Patty. They made her actually work. Stay your ass from behind the counter. That's all I got to say. When they had a break, Dennis's mother started drilling Porsha again. How y'all doing? You know, how's everything going with you all? And let's talk about that prenup, this, that, thing, the other. And she kept telling her, I like to be kept in the loop. I said, push, 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 push. And the way she was talking, I think she actually has an idea that Porsha's pregnant. But whatever. Porsha told her, you know, he and I are doing really, really well. That's it. He and I are doing well. Our relationship is bomb. But as far as that prenup, no, we're not going to keep you in the loop about that. But as far as the relationship goes, everything's fine. I said, kudos to you, Porsha. She told her in a very nice way, back off. Back off. The bankroll is none of your concern, Mom. I was like, ooh, all right. She eased that right on in there. She ain't as much of an airhead as everybody thinks she is. Anyway, moving on. Ronnie and Shamari. Ciao. They were doing their little thing. She's getting her clothes together to go on the trip. I'm looking at these clothes and I'm like, are you going to do some guest appearances somewhere? You're going to be on stage. What are you going to do? See-through pants covered in rhinestones and everything looks like, again, she has some fashion faux pas. Everything looks like a costume from a 90s concert. It just, everything does. And I'm like, okay, nice pieces, but dated nonetheless. But see, that's her aesthetic. She's like all happy. And if you talk to her, she thinks she breaks it up fashion wise. Okay. No, ma'am. But whatever. But I will give her this. You all seen my thumbnail. Something changed after this episode as far as Shamari's dressing. She was clean as hell in that confessional. Everything, makeup, hair, top. What, I don't know if it was a dress or if it was an actual top. Sharp, sharp. She was thoroughly together. Tonight in her confessional looks is the best I have seen Shamari since this has been on the air. She looked gorgeous in her confessional. On point. I love that bob with the part that she was wearing that. That looked nice. It made her look more mature. She literally was sitting on screen looking like money. I said, girl, now there you go, baby. That's it right there. Right there. You just keep on doing that and you'll shut all these girls up, honey, and shut them down. So I just kind of laughed at that. That was that. Here, Ronnie was getting after her. She had some nasty little ways about her. She nasty, child. She did a nasty little something. She took some drink out of his cup and then spit the ice back in the cup. Bitch. And he looked at her like, whore, And she's like, boy, we be licking and sucking on each other and carrying on. I know you ain't mad about a little bit of ice in the cup. Don't nobody want no secondhand ice out your mouth, and I wouldn't give a shit what you suck to mine. Okay? I don't care what you suck to mine. I don't want you eating on my food, drinking out my cup, or none of that. None of that. Why do you think I had you suck it? If I wanted to suck it myself, I would have. I had you suck it. Now, I don't need to suck it back off of you secondhand. I ain't a secondhand sucker, baby. You got that? Nasty. I said, ugh. Yeah, a little too much. Bit too much. And then he asked her, if I did that to you, how would you? She gonna say, I would probably be mad. Because it's nasty. Y'all, they be having a lot going on here. As a child, I haven't seen folks wanting to brush teeth with other people's toothbrushes and shit like that. It's just too much. Y'all need to stop that nastiness. Anyway, moving on. So Candy had everybody meet at her house because her house was the closest, was on the way going to where they were going. It was a 5-hour drive from Candy's house. So they just had everybody get dropped off at Candy's. And Greg, actually, the last ones to show up was Nene and Greg. Greg was dropping Nene off. And Greg gave him a little pep talk. Told him, yeah, this was my trip, and I was looking forward to spending time with everybody. But things ended up changing up a little bit. But what I want y'all to do is not really no whole bunch of cutting up and fussing with each other. I want y'all to bond with each other. Bond with each other. Get to know one another. And somebody said, I think it was Porsha, said it's going to be kind of hard because some of these girls got 2 faces. He said, well, get to know both of their faces. He was just no nonsense, no bullshit. Have a good time, get to know each other, bond and things. I just laughed at them. They were doing okay initially. They got on the bus. Nene had an idea for the room pickings. She gave everybody picked out of the bag, picked a number out of the bag for the rooms. And then once they got there, the numbers were the order that you would actually choose. The orders you choose is the numbers in the order that you will go to choose your rooms. But what you weren't choosing a room for yourself, you were choosing a room for one of the other girls. So that's how it all broke down, and nobody fussed too much but Marlo. Marlo is just a fucking killjoy. No matter what anybody gives Marlo, if she doesn't have the main suite and have the best of everything, she's going to fuss. So that's just what she does. Everybody pretty much knows it, and everybody pretty much paid her dust. The worst room was a room that had bunk beds in it, and Tanya got that because Tanya's nobody. She's just a virgin show, so it was good. She ended up with that room, but guess who gave it to her? Marlo with her old rude ass. I said, girl, you just a mess, Marlo. Both of them ain't nothing but rude. They should have been made to stay in the room with the bunk beds together. But anyway, that would have been nice and shady, but that's what I would have did. Anyway, but, well, you know I'm petty, so it don't matter. Moving on. So on the bus they were playing Truth or Dare. Child, it was a mess. It was a mess. Eva had to suck Shamari's fingers on a dare. Child, now Shamari, I said, girl, she loves to talk about her little lesbian tendencies, honey. She will say, oh, I got a little tangle down in my vajayjay, honey. Honey, Eva was giving, girl, you might as well click it off, honey, because I ain't going to go down there and fiddle with your man in the boat, honey. You better get on out of here. I said, Lord have mercy, Shamari, go sit down in the back of the bus. Porsha, child, Nene went and asked her. She said, I'm going to take the truth. Nene asked her, is there anybody on the bus who has either messed with your man or has one of their friends messed with? I said, Nene, you messy bitch. You know it. So Candy was addressed. I said, here we go again. Here we go again. And then Porsha starts talking, and then Portia's dates aren't adding up. I said, Porsha and Candy gonna be back at it again. Porsha, I don't really care. And you know, she's telling everybody that she's just fasting and not having liquor. So that's why she's not drinking liquor. Instead of telling everybody that she's pregnant, she ain't telling nobody. But they're never going to make it through this whole trip if she doesn't tell someone that she's pregnant, because she can't help herself. She's got a big mouth. So I'm just waiting to see when the ball's going to drop with that. So they get there. And they get around the dinner table. I said, okay, what's going to happen? So then Cynthia, being messy, Cynthia and Porsha, Eva gets called out about the fact that she was in Miami the weekend before for her bachelorette party. Yet Nene wasn't invited. Nene ain't said nothing, but Cynthia, Marlo, and Porsha weren't letting it go. And Portia's like, well, because Eva said, well, it was a surprise. She's like, well, wait a minute. How's a surprise, Porsha? I was invited a long time ago. I said, oh, God, girl, they're not going to let you make it, girl. They got you. You keep coming up looking like a liar. You looking like a liar and looking messy. And Nene started talking, and you could kind of tell it did kind of bother her a little bit that she wasn't invited. Oh, well. But then she kept saying she was going to say no anyway. No, she wouldn't. But anyway. So that was that. She was like, you know, I have a friendship with Nene. And no, I don't call her every day like you do or like you do. But whatever our friendship is, it's what it is. And that's that. Nene said, you know, that is true. I would have appreciated the invite, even if I didn't go. I don't need you to tell me that I'm too busy. Let me tell you that I'm too busy, which is true. Which is true. But whatever, they didn't want to hang out with your old ass, and that was it. That was all there was to it. End of story. So that was that. I said, Cynthia, I said, you being messy, girl. Get on out of here. Then in some kind of way, it ended up being Shamari and Porsha. And that whole thing came about her not speaking, like not hugging her and Ronnie the way that she did everybody else. She didn't greet them. She's like, now we're both from the same place, and it seems like you throwing me shade. Is something going on with us? Child, they get to going back and forth, and some type of way it wrapped back around to that bullshit and shaded mess at the Bailey queue. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? So they start this whole thing again. And Eva's backpedaling, and they're not letting her. And then Porsha summed it right up. Porsha said, see, the thing is, Eva, but you be forgetting your shade. You literally be forgetting your shade, girl. You be done threw some shade and be done forgot it. A mess. And it all went back around, and then Shamari, they told Shamari about her fashions, and she's like, ain't nothing wrong with my fashion. I was like, oh, Lord, here she go again. Then Marlo said something to her about her fashions, and her and Marlo had a couple little choice words, and Marlo was like, girl, whatever. I mean, you can't dress. It is what it is. But I believe that there's going to be some different talk come next week with her and Marla with this fashion thing, and Marla's going to help her out of that hole she's in. But anyway, so they go through all that, but then they ended up squashing it, and they ended up hugging at the end. Porsha was like, "Girl, we cool," and all that. And I just laughed at Eva. Eva was like, "Child, listen. If I really wanted to shade you, I would have really shaded you, girl. It would have been no question about whether you've been shaded or not." But yeah, you were backpedaling and pussy popping Eva. But it is what it is. And I hope that they're done with the shit that happened at the Bailey Q. I'm sick of hearing about the Bailey Q. I was there, we were there, and we've seen enough of it. God damn, y'all. But anyway, that was it. This is just the beginning of the girls' trip. I'm sure it's going to get more interesting. You know, they can't be around each other long without fighting and arguing. So, this was the end of this. But I'll catch y'all next week on episode 8. Later.